Jack, here you go. Oh, yo, no, come on, man. Jack. What? Screw it around, man.
Hey, do not put the gun down. Put the gun down. Hey, put the gun down, Chuck. Put the gun down, Chuck.
Don't do that.
Put the gun down, Chuck. Chuck, put the gun down.
Damn, it's fucking
Put the gun down, Chuck.
Oh, my God.
Put the gun down, Chuck.
You gonna electrocute him, Jack.
Don't do that, Chuck.
Yo, why I'm gonna call
Chuck,
HR, man.
Chuck.
Come on, man.
We got a hose.
I'm gonna call HR.
Make his makeup run.
Oh shit.
So many things to click on all at once.
No, not even that. No. I think the clip may have gotten us in trouble. It said that the Hangout on Air will end if we continue to play copyrighted content.
Oh shit. That's new.
Actually, I'm fucking dumb because that's like from the NBA.
Yeah, that one's going away.
Oh well. That one was quick. They knew fucking Charles Barkley's voice.
Wait, hang on. We played this stupid fucking clip, and that's gonna get us flagged.
Right.
Yeah.
Pasty still pretended, by the way.
We need some automation.
Yeah, the I was about to unpresent him, and then I was typing something, and then that thing popped up. I'm like, what? Oh. Oh, it was worth it. That clip was hilarious. That NBA show on TNT is the best. If you like basketball.
Yeah, I don't even think you can get away with reaction videos these days with the way they're doing their fair use on YouTube. Because I've
jacked up, right? That fair use is fair use, man.
Well, yeah, and very rarely is it so. And the funny thing is, I didn't think of it sooner because there's never anything that I watched that's sports related that would be funny to use for an intro. I felt like that was.
We have the general upside that we have never monetized a video. So, like, we've never been demonetized.
Right. We also don't have any hard strikes, and honestly, that may be one. We'll see.
From what I understand, everybody else has been demonetized.
Oh, it's been rough. Like one of the dudes that comes on my show, he does covers, and so we're using his covers for like intro tunes. And sure enough, your video has been monetized by this company.
Oh shit! For a cover?
Yeah, for a cover.
And even if it's
a really good cover,
they are very good covers. But yeah, I mean it's intellectual property, and YouTube ain't playing. YouTube ain't playing these days.
You've got two options. You can either go to Twitch, or we know a guy who makes dope intro tracks.
That's right.
I've got said guy working on something for me. So
yeah, right on. Foo, you want to do it? You want me to do it?
You do it.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Plumes of Hazard. We have a bit of a different intro this week because Mr. MassBlast09 is flying at half mast tonight. He's not feeling so hot. So
dude, I never fly half mast.
And I just named the show full mast the other week.
I fly in my seat with my seatbelt on, okay, and near the fire exit. That's how I fly.
That's right. So anyway, so let's back up. I just want to let you know what was going on. I can't do myself first because that messes everything up. We'll do it this way. That's
all right. Just stop. Just fucking stop, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I am Half Mast 09. These are my co-hosts. We have Understudy 77, Chewbacca, and the Yanksville Vapor Launch of Farts.
Hey,
everyone.
There's another one tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have another one.
Oh, and we have a guest tonight. Some say that he is smarter than all of us because of FDA regulations, because he has been making juice longer than everyone else.
That's not true at all. There's a couple ladies that invented it in a garage back in
of course,
before vaping.
Well, it was Emio, right? I assume.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
Addy Tooney for sure has me beat. I can tell you that
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm sure.
I was gonna say those ladies at least won't talk to us.
Anyway,
We got you.
call him Fresh.
What's happening?
Hey, speaking of flying, I flew first class for the first time ever, and it was kind of amazing.
It's kind of amazing, isn't it?
Really kind
Never flown first. I've flown business. But
Well, I was going San Francisco to LA, and the upgrade for first class was like $100. I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Wait, just San Fran to LA? You upgraded for $100?
Yeah, because I've always wanted to fly first class, and I'm not paying $700 or $800.
that's like a 2-hour flight.
Yeah, it is, and it was
I don't
totally.
know.
No, LA to
New York to LA.
New York?
is first class.
That would be amazing, but I can't afford that.
All proportional, man.
So I spent about a year and a half at Executive Platinum on American, which gets you bumped up basically every flight for free, which was amazing. That makes commuting way better. Especially the ride home, man. The ride home, you get home, you're a little lubed up. It's good. It's a good time.
Let's see, I might actually be like, I have to fly more often now, so I might actually get some perks.
Yeah. And you will. All you got to do is hit gold if you're on American or whatever the first rung is.
Be United, I'm guessing.
Whatever. I think they're Economy Plus or something. I forget what they call theirs.
Yeah.
But once you hit that, then you start getting segments that you can apply for an upgrade, which is good.
Well, it's United, so I'm guessing it'll be regularly kicked off flights.
Probably. Yeah. Probably so. I'm glad Masty's still here. I didn't think he'd stay around. I thought he was going to go. Are you still here, Masty?
Yeah, I am. Figure you're gonna talk shit. Might as well get it out of the way now.
He's like Raiden. We can't see him, but he's always there.
He's always there.
Always there.
So Half Mast asked me to fill in, and I feel like shit too.
Well, there you go. We have two half shits equals one shit.
Yep.
You're back to 3.
Per normal.
I can send you a picture of my shit. I mean, that's cool.
No, you've already done that unprovoked before.
Yeah. It's totally unnecessary.
I don't think any
During a show.
Rate my poop.com
has posted more pictures of them taking a shit than Foo.
That's true.
No, there's
true.
there's pictures of me giving you the little thumbs up while I'm sitting on the toilet, and then there's like what came out of me.
True. Just kind of a half perplexed, half horrified face type thing, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly. That's Foo's standard kind of face. I like it. It's good.
Yeah,
I think you got a patent, don't you? Or at least trademark.
Was that?
I think you got that face trademark, don't you?
Yep.
I mean, there are multiple forms of it. I have my own.
Mm.
It's like
That half disgusted, sort of just neutral face. Yeah.
it's the face. I made this face at someone the other day at work, and that's exactly why I was making it. But basically, I was working with someone. So I was working with someone that I didn't want to be working with, and so I found something else for him to go help someone else with. And that person sent him back to me after 20 minutes, and I thought I got away like in the clear. And so they came back, and I looked at my coworker. I was like, fuck. I was celebrating and dancing like, yes, okay, we're good. Got rid of them.
I will tell you, I've known Foo for a long time, and I made that face once when I was at work, and not 3 days later did an attorney show up asking for royalties. So it doesn't even matter how long you've known him; he'll hit you for it.
So I realized earlier that my wick is disgusting, and I meant to re-wick before the show. I couldn't. So,
You remember the last time I was on, because it was a while ago, I was talking about, like, I don't know why I don't use the Narca more, and I still use the Nardo, because, like, the Narca is better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to San Francisco, and I just took the Narca, and I'm like, that's all I use now.
Yeah.
It does get hot, but that's all I use now.
Not the EA. You're back to the CA.
I didn't use the EA a whole lot in the first place, and we talked a lot about that, right?
We did.
Like, dog, get out of here.
I didn't know if anything had changed since then.
Yeah, it's not my preference. I'm very happy to be back to the CA regularly, though. I like that one.
So in this one, I have been running the EA basically since we got it because I wanted to really give it like a long run.
Oh yeah, did your opinion change?
What's that?
Did your opinion change?
It has not changed per se because I think we both agreed at some point where it was a fantastic atomizer, but it did make you restrict. It was a little more restrictive, right? I mean, the airflow is not as much and it's a lot hotter. But that's kind of how I vape, and it's not the only cons that I think we really came up with besides those two things, and you do have to adjust your build. The only cons is I'm not able to run a key coil. The key coils are too hot or too cold, and or sorry, they're too hot because they're built too low. And I already like the restricted sort of thing. That's one of the reasons why I like the Haku Vita so much, is because it is quite restricted, the drag that you get off of it. The only problem is I am just running the regular parallel build, our old standby one. And it's good. I really quite like it. I've not been bothered by the whooshiness so much. I mean, the sound is a sound. It happens.
Yeah.
But there's also no whistle, and I never have to mess with it, which is one of the things I like about the Haku.
Yeah.
How about you, Fresh? What's your preferred?
Hold on. Before we go into that, we have a special request.
Oh.
Spork Life would like Fresh to wave at them.
I waved at him once, but I'll wave at him again. What's up, yes?
Great. And that really puts into perspective how far we've fallen, or how far we never came, because I don't think we've ever had someone ask us to wave at them.
Wave.
And that saddens me a little bit now.
Hey, what you gonna do?
Yeah, it is what it is.
So Fresh, what is your preferred atomizer these days? I haven't caught up with it in a while.
I've been using I'm still using the Wasp Nano a lot, just because it's so easy to work with, and fantastic flavor, cheap as hell. If I crack something, I can just buy a new one, and they're great for taste and e-liquid. And then I've been using what the hell's the name of this? It's Mike Bates' latest one, the Rebirth.
See why somebody would like that.
I've been using the Rebirth a lot for a dual coil atomizer. Get a ton of flavor off of it, and just silky smooth airflow. So I've been a big fan of the Rebirth. So
I can totally see why somebody would like the Wasp Nano. It looks very Narda-ish.
Yeah, it is. But I started laughing a minute ago because you said dual coil. It's been a long time since I ran anything with dual coils.
It's been a long time. All I've been vaping on are Robert's coils in like my NAR atomizers, and the only thing, and then in my K phone I have Addy stainless coils in there. So I don't know if I could vape a macro coil again for starters. Dual coil, fuck.
Yeah, dual 3mm.
Yeah, that's how I used to roll.
Kicking some heat and some vapor.
Yeah. What? Who makes the you said it's Rever or Reper?
Rebirth. The Rebirth.
Rebirth. Oh, Rebirth. Gotcha.
Yeah. Is that Hellvape? Yeah, I think it's Hellvape. Hellvape makes it, but yeah, it's Mike Vape's. I don't know if it's his latest one anymore. He's always got a new atomizer coming out. So, but
it does seem like that's the case.
Yeah, but it's by far my favorite of the Mike Vapes line.
Cool.
So, been digging that. And it's great. It's great. It's also great for when you're testing liquids, and that you're like someone out there is going to be vaping at higher wattages. You crank it up to 150 watts and rip some clouds around your place, freak the cats out, and then go back to the Wasp, go back or dial that way back down.
Right.
I'm so far removed. I've had to Google everything he said.
27 to 29 watts has been my area for a long time.
Yeah, probably about there actually. Yeah.
But I vape like a Fuse Clapton, so it's a dense vape for 29 watts. It's just not a.
Yeah, usually if I'm vaping like a Fuse Clapton, I'll start at like 55. Like that's just kind of how I roll. Always been a little bit hotter vape. Not that 55 watts on a like a 0.3 stainless build is anything remarkable, but you can get a little heat off of it, and then rip it on a dual coil. About between 100 and 120 is pretty nice. And then, you know, if I'm at work and I don't want to be ripping clouds around the hospital, I can just dial it back to like 75. That's usually where I'll hang out during the day.
So, but a lot of that has to do with airflow, right?
Yeah, a lot of it's the airflow, and that's why that rebirth is so nice. Like there's nothing to it. It's just like breathing.
Right.
It's so silky smooth. No whistling, no whooshes, nothing. It's just fantastic.
Which is why you got to have it that hot, right? In order to get a hot vape, with that much air, you got to give it some power.
Yep, exactly.
Makes sense.
What are you vaping on, Fresh? Anyway, like setup.
I'm vaping on e-liquid we did last week on my Fresh from the Kitchen show called Obi-Wan Kenobi or Obi-Wan Cannoli. Obi-Wan Cannoli.
Wow.
Eddie Tooney actually named that one, but it's a chocolate cannoli.
Ooh.
Right on.
And I was vaping Nancy Pelosi on acid earlier, but
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Nancy Pelosi.
I forgot to pull it. I need to pull it up.
What is Nancy Pelosi on acid?
So obviously the pony on acid's been going around for a while. It's, you know, Grimm's favorite liquid. So everybody's always asking, hey, can you do your take on the profile? Do your take on the profile. And finally one night I broke down, and I was on a Nancy Pelosi kick on that show for some reason. I believe we had her doing ass to mouth earlier in the show, and we just decided that the excuse for that would be that she was on acid, and so we did Nancy Pelosi on acid. So.
I had to Google that juice too.
So yeah,
I feel like that one's been out for a long time.
Nancy, the pony on acid's been
Pony on acid,
yeah, but the Nancy Pelosi on acid, I only did that a couple weeks ago, and it's like a strawberry creamy frosting. Is kind of what the profile turns out like.
Of course, strawberry cream.
Pretty tasty stuff.
That honestly, like, that was the flavor profile that I couldn't get on. Like when Mother's Milk kind of pushed that envelope, I couldn't do it. They just, all of them taste the same to me, or they have like an afternote that I can't do. Any strawberry creamy thing, like I've tried strawberry milk, strawberries and cream.
The only strawberry thing I liked had titanium dioxide in it. Titanium dioxide.
Which one was that?
That's sarcasm, by the way.
The Cutwood.
Yeah,
The
unicorn milk, right?
Unicorn milk. That's what it was.
Oh, it's the unicorn milk.
Sarcasm, complete sarcasm. I just remember when they pulled the coloring out of it, everybody flipped out and they're like, it tasted better with the titanium, and I want that back.
Right.
I totally forgot.
Small doses of titanium.
I smoked
right?
cigarettes when they had less cancer in them.
Oh, that's what it was with the smack shit. They had the lotion bottles with the little fucking clicker tweezes.
Yeah.
That was the thing. So somebody in chat reminded me of that. I remember that.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is that might be bottles we had to switch to, and we'd laughed at them then.
And the nice thing is, when we talk about legal companies that aren't breaking the law, I know what we're talking about because I was still involved in this before August 8th. It's when we get into the illegal stuff that I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
They've got a Facebook group for that.
What, the illegal stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's probably 100 of them, I'd bet.
Oh, there's probably thousands at this point. Like every juice company that doesn't want to comply here in a little bit, they're just gonna, you know, open up a Facebook group and do runs on things.
PayPal, no comments.
Right.
PayPal friends and family.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, you'll see a lot of that happen. You're already seeing the consolidation that I think me and Sean were actually talking about that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's forcing everybody else back into the bathtub essentially, which is a shame. It really is forcing
compliance expensive. That's what happens when you make compliance. It's expensive as fuck. Like this.
Yep. Well, I mean, so you know the IQ got its PMTA, right?
The iQuos.
Yeah, the iQuos.
Yeah, the iQuos got its PMTA, which
I saw something about, like, somebody was asking, like, oh, can we get a copy of this shit so that we can talk about it and we can copy it? And I think Stefan posted a copy of it, and it was like 900 pages.
Yeah.
Filled with a bunch of research and a bunch of other things. I mean, you're talking millions of dollars to put that shit together.
And just so everybody knows, the IQS, that's the heat not burn.
Yeah, that's heat not burn.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like they're short on money. Like that's the hottest thing in Asia. And Like they have like IQOS lounges in like Japanese airports and stuff because it's so popular. Like people are just sitting around doing it. Like if they didn't give them a place to do it.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like they were short on cash to put to push whatever faked up research they needed to do.
I am still legitimately bothered by the vaping industry's outcome to all of this stuff, though.
It's disheartening a lot of days, doesn't it?
Still all harm reduction.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, well, fuck them and fuck this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, like, it was interesting that since regulations happened, everybody before regulations preached harm reduction, right?
Yeah.
Too. I'd like to think that we kept to that.
Yep.
But since regulations happened, it's no longer about harm reduction. It's about this one specific thing that I do and fuck anybody who gets out on the other side and has money and gets passed with a harm reduction product. Like, it's very fucking disheartening.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like the vape industry never learned. And
right?
Yeah.
They just never, like, they've had chance after chance after chance as a whole to come together and be like, hey, listen, this is the deal. We're willing to take this. And you get this, and that'll be, this will be fair. This will be fair to the industry. This will be, this will keep things alive. And they had their chance. I mean, when Gottlieb first came into office, he invited everybody to the table.
Yeah.
Like he legitimately wanted to help the industry. It seemed like. And then by the time he left, he was just like, "Fuck y'all. Here's another knife in the back on the way out." So
we never mobilized. We never worked together. And now all we do is be pissy that other companies are doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's just projecting, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody business, so.
Well, the majority of the companies that are doing all right are the guys that are selling to like the big distributors.
Sure.
Like that, because the big distributors are already owned by, there's a couple Altria has.
Yep. Juul is Altria now, right?
Yeah, Juul's partially Altria.
Partially, right? It's like 16% or something like that.
35, I think it's 30 or 35%.
Was it that many?
Yeah.
But I still can't blame Juul for anything they do, nor can I knock Juul because it's what made my mom quit smoking.
Yeah, I can't blame them for a thing, right? They did. They were incredibly intelligent. They had a fantastic business model. Their goal from the start was just like any internet startup.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are going to sell this at some point. We're going to make a shit ton of money. And
now they're doing nothing but protect their product, which is all you fucking expect. Like, it's a business, right? At the end of the day, the vapor industry is a business.
Yeah.
I'm going to protect my interests in that business because I have money on the line.
Yeah.
I can't fucking blame anybody for doing that. That's realistic. Nobody's altruistic.
No. No, I mean, like we sit around on YouTube all the time preaching the ideals that the vape industry, we're doing a lot of good, and we're hanging out, we've got a great community, all this stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is business.
Yep.
And that's why like when Juul sold I think it was like 30% of their company for like $17 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And they still maintain
gets
control of the company, right? They still maintain control of the company. How can you blame them for taking a deal like that?
Investment that gets you a new desk. That's what investment money does.
And then they fight for their interests because they have different interests than Open Vapor. And to be honest, Open Vapor has made such an ass out of itself that I don't know that I would want. If I had a $17 billion business to protect, I don't know that I would want to be associated with a bunch of people who have made an ass out of themselves.
Well, that aside, what's the lasting technology? Like, Open Vapor is not like feasible on a mass market.
Yeah, it has always been a niche market, right?
The open part, like Joel's, like for the normies, that's where the money is.
Admittedly, I left. Like, I didn't get involved with CASA super heavily, and I left not blowing smoke because we saw the fight moving away from Open Vapor, and I respect completely that their goal was to make sure that harm reduction products existed, but my heart was in Open Vapor.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a lot of desire to fight for other things, but I also wasn't going to bastardize those other things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing Open Vapor kind of has going for it is that politicians, quite frankly, aren't that fucking interested in it. Like, they really, like, we're such a niche market that they really don't care what we're doing sitting in our corner.
And nobody really knows how to handle it.
Yeah.
It's hard to handle.
Yeah. And
at the end of the day, you've got freshes and stuff, out there DIYing, and it's going to be really hard to lock that down. By the way, just to put this in real quick, Labworks said that the
50 gig.
Yeah, 50 gigabytes is their
files.
final file.
What's their PMTA file? Yeah.
Well,
Crazy.
could be misleading. What if they're all WAV files?
See, that's the thing. When you think about 50 gig and you think that it's probably mostly documentation,
Yeah.
that's massive.
Yeah. Even if it's PDF and stuff, that's fine. But still,
It's still massive. What's a
Yeah.
PDF? A couple meg. A big one might be a couple hundred.
Yeah.
50 gig is massive.
The big one. 900 something pages, they said.
Oh, they wanted that. Like they wanted the iQuotes to get through like badly. So.
Yeah. And from what I've heard about it, it is a very similar to smoking product that I don't think would ever appeal to me, but might be the kind of thing that would appeal to people like my mom.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, you know, it passed PMTA, but we don't really know what that means as far as the product. It was like I kind of refused to badmouth it at this point because I don't know enough about the product, quite frankly. I only know one person that's ever tried it, and he was over in England and tried it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like we don't know if you're still getting all those carcinogens, if you're still getting, you know, the 5,000 chemicals. We don't know anything about it. So
there may be some allusion to that in that 50 gig of PDFs, but
yeah,
who knows?
Who has time to sort through 50 gigs? Like,
Right.
I'm assuming that because it passed PMTA, that it's unlikely that it has the same amount of chemicals. And everything I've read so far from people that I genuinely trust, it is a reduced harm alternative. It may not be as much of a reduced harm alternative as straight vaping is,
right?
It is a reduced harm alternative.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, until something comes out that it's awful, which I'm sure the news will produce something in no time. Because I mean, anything that's a harm reduction product, and they really have no interest in at this point. So.
Rob said that Demi is saying around 13 million to the PMTA. That's about right, because I think we heard originally once this started really shaking out, I think that people were guessing between 5 and 12.
Yeah, that's
what
what
they said before.
And I don't think the open vapor PMTAs will be quite as big, but we've never had an open vapor PMTA pass, as far as I know.
Yeah, there's nothing so far.
Yeah.
I mean, someone like Molecule Labs, they're backed up by I believe they're backed up by Altria. I mean, they've certainly got the money to push some things through.
Yeah, Festi said that it's massively less crap than smoking, but more. Or Farsolino said it's massively less crap than smoking, but more chemicals than vaping, which would have been about my guess.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
I mean, even if you look at the difference between like open vapor systems and the Juul, it's massively less nicotine in open vapor systems for the most part.
Yeah, you're not ripping on 50 milligram.
But the likelihood of an open vapor system ever passing a PMTA is very low because there's too many options that can be considered.
Yeah,
too many variable points. There's too much distrust, and there's no money there because nobody will band together to try to do it.
Yeah.
More than anything that has a removable battery is likely not going to get PMTA.
Yeah. Well, or
removable atomizer too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything where you're putting your own juice in has too many variables.
Yeah. And I mean, there's room for arguments about open vapor, like, you know, how close is the deck to the stuff that was available back in 2007 and there's all sorts of arguments to be made as far as what could get passed in a PMTA, and maybe it would cost as much for an open system, and you know, there's all sorts of arguments to be made. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's, you know, do they want the product to stay on the market?
Yeah.
And I don't think the government has enough interest in open vapor right now for it to really be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you go through the history of open vapor and you just look at different things, I joked about titanium dioxide earlier. That was a big deal. Cotton, when cotton was the thing, when cotton first came out, that was a big fucking deal. Remember, like that was super unsafe. So, like, if you go through our history of experimentation, there was always somebody going, "That's horribly unsafe." We did it for some shit too. Like, what was the big one that we had?
XC.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
but there was legitimate concerns with that one, right? But the same thing happened with silica, right? And you're right. When cotton was coming out, people were like, "No, this is not as good as silica. Silica is the glass," and right? Yep. And then we found out later, oh shit, that glass can shatter.
What do you mean someone's coming down with silicosis, man?
Yeah.
No.
I actually know somebody on Twitter completely unrelated to the vaping scene who's like, vaping can give you popcorn lung, and I'm like, that's false.
Well, I'll just agree with them these days because I don't know why not. But the thing is, with now you can make the argument that closed system or closed vapor is better for quitting smoking than open vapor. If you look,
I would agree with that statement.
yeah, just look at how many people the Juul has switched versus like just regular open systems. It has dwarfed it at this point. So it's like you can make the argument that the market doesn't need open vapor. Just us hobbyists.
I mean, let's be honest.
Would
When I first started, and this was the first time I started vaping, not the second, I used a Cigalike. I never in my life thought I would ever use something like this. Something like this definitively is not going to appeal to somebody like my mother or my grandmother.
No.
They're going to want something that's small, that's easy to carry, that's easy to handle, and easy to deal with. Because there's a lot of stupid shit involved in being part of open vapor, especially over the last 7 years or so that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of experimentation. It's a lot of pain in the ass. It's a lot of these different things.
Yeah, and the technology for the closed vapor has gotten so much better. Like the flavor we can get off some of them are just amazing. Like those the air in the drop. Who makes those?
Yeah,
those are both fantastic little pod systems, and they're cheap. They're cheap. You can pick them up for like $20, and the pods are only like $2-3. And they're refillable, and the flavor's fantastic off of them. Like it's gotten so much better.
I know Fu and me, and I think Sean and maybe Messi too, have said repeatedly, if this had been out when I started vaping,
it's probably all we do.
I would have never gotten into the hobbyist vaping thing.
Yeah, where's that silly thing? It came out a while ago.
So fun little Juul story though. I have a friend outside of vaping who's trying to quit smoking, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy her a Juul. So I walked by a vape shop, which was a head shop. In Baltimore, near Baltimore. And I walked in, I'm like, oh, you guys have Juuls. Can I get a pack? What all do you have? And she's like normal, like Marlboro Red kind of person.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we only have the menthol. And I'm like, I don't want that. Well, we have these ones that you can refill yourself. I'm like, no, I don't want that either. You don't have any, you don't even have tobacco. They're like, no, only the menthol. I'm like, this is definitely a head shop.
No sport. I don't think Orville Redenbacher died of popcorn lung.
That just makes me think.
I could just see it. I could just see that just Gizzard Stew's little post right there, just getting pulled and posted all over like USA Today. Orville Redenbacher invented vaping. Thanks a lot, Giz. Giz
is going.
He probably would just be sitting there just cackling with his goggles on, rocking in his chair. Look what I've done.
Which one, Dr. Robotnik?
Man, Giz, I haven't talked to you in a really long time, man.
Like the My One. When I picked the My One up a couple of years ago, like if this thing had been out when I quit, like I don't think I would have moved past this thing. Like it did everything that I wanted.
My big thing was probably the same as everybody else. When I first started, I wanted something that I could dangle like a cigarette.
Yep.
I didn't want a big old, even something this size. I mean, no, I didn't want a giant, no. And the Juul is a little heavier than the blue, and then the ones, all the crazy Joy Tech ones that I tried back in the day.
I think
E-Joy, was that it? Well, that was one of the ones I tried.
E-Joy. I think I had it was a Volt. Volt was the first thing I quit smoking on. Then I went back to smoking. And then I was working, and somebody that I worked with had one of those big ass fucking techie looking lightsaber ones, the Mamo, right?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I gotta get me one of those.
See, I was not like that.
I don't know why I had the desire to do it. I think because like this is also the guy who like married me and my wife. I'm like, if this worked for you, maybe this will work for me. And it looks kind of cool. It's huge and unwieldy and horrible. Yeah. But it looks very technologically savvy.
But that was me in like 08, 09, 2011. That was me. I was just one of the Cigalikes. I didn't want the big things.
Wiggles is correct. If we had just stayed with Juuls, there'd be at least 100 Nardas around.
That may be true, actually. That's funny.
Let's do Nardas, Narcos, and Nar-EAs.
I have the TUS, so no one wants this, so fuck off. This is
That's probably true.
Went back to the 75C because this thing is so much lighter.
Mm-hmm. So, but that said, it was whenever. What year was it? Was it 2012 when I finally fully moved over to vaping? It was the Vamo. That's what did it. I finally built the boat. It's like, all right, screw the little cigarettes. Everything about them is why I hate them. Right, the battery capacity. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try the big old thing. We'll see if that works. And that. So it did it
so fast through it. I had a Vamo, and like 2 weeks later, I had the SVD.
Yeah,
because it looked exactly like a lightsaber.
Yeah,
and then shortly after that, I think I started getting into like the Zen stuff. Not long after that, or I had an MVP for a while. That was my first box mod, and I fucking loved that thing.
Boom, right there.
Oh, attaboy. I get food right in the fields.
Like this thing still works. Like these are going to be sitting around with the cockroaches.
Mine
like
still
cockroaches
works.
are going to be vaping on MVP V2s.
The 510 pin of mine broke, but as far as I know, it's still functional.
Yeah. I had one of those for a while. I loved that fucking thing. I had wraps and stickers and everything for it. And then I found Zen stuff, and I liked that because it was really nicely made, but didn't work very well.
He had nice belts.
Right? Yeah.
That nice battery rattle.
Yeah. I remember that. Hey, man, that was a feature.
Right.
I miss that old dude.
I'm going to talk to Zen in a minute.
I know, right? I miss that old dude. And then from there, it was like, oh, high-end mods only, and fucking GUs and shit for a while until DZ DNAs came out.
Yeah.
And then, dude, you and I both, Brian, we were fucking hard on the DZ DNAs for a while. For a goddamn minute. Mm-hmm. Everything that dude made, plus custom shit from him, we had it.
Just tiny box mods.
Yep.
Go. With DNA boards on them.
Years, tiny box mods in a K-Fun light.
Yeah.
I was hoping that Zen didn't die. I figured he was still around. I just haven't talked to him in a while.
Right.
Hey, speaking of, I'm still using tiny box mods.
Yeah, look at that. Just now just took the DNA part out of them.
Yeah. And this one attracts a lot of pocket lint.
Speaking of which, hey, Sean, you want to talk about your new little box?
I can. So there's multiple pieces.
Wait, you should start on the V2 or whatever that you really liked. The one that led you to that one.
It's in my closet.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I mean I've shown it before. So
yeah.
I had a Bolt V2 that was custom upgraded by William, which was great because it had it has a lock on it and shit, which is awesome. So I could lock it. And I essentially bought the Bolt for two reasons. One, it can take a beating, and two, it's really, really easy to travel with because it's very hard to rip out a bottle and then stick a Lego hand in a free hand and then put it all back together. Where this guy is really, really easy to just pop off a door and stick a Lego hand in it, which was nice. So I still always travel with the Bolt. The Bolt V3s aren't 3D printed. They're cut. So I was I saw one go up and I'm like, well, I'm going to get that because it's highly engraved by Ricardo, and I love Ricardo. He's great. And he makes really cool stuff. And I'm like, but it's white. Also cool. I like white mods. But I figured that once I put it in my jeans pocket, damn you. Once I put it in my jeans pocket, I was going to run into a problem because it is both white and highly engraved. The whole thing is engraved if this is showing.
I can see the fur.
Yeah, you see all the fur from my jeans? Yeah, so it collects lint. That's just what it does. So I might have to learn how to dye a Bolt at some point. I've also learned another couple things about the highly engraved thing. There it is, normally together.
Is it Delrin?
Yeah.
Or is it something else?
It's Delrin.
Okay.
Well, I actually really like it, to look at it. It's not super comfortable in the hand. It's kind of scratchy.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish I had a highly engraved door, but then the rest of it was not highly engraved and was just smooth. I ended up going completely the other way because I saw Ricardo put up the other day that he had some doors that he was selling, which are clear like this in Game of Thrones.
Mm.
So he did a pack of two, which is fitting for anybody watching Game of Thrones right now, a Stark and a Targaryen door that just got here today. I do legitimately still really like the Bolt, but I kind of want a normal Bolt V3 rather than the highly engraved one.
Yeah.
which is really pretty, but just kind of a pain in the ass.
Is it because it's not polished? Is it rough on the outside? Is the texture rough? Is that why it's
The texture is rough because it's engraved, especially around the corners, because the engraving is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like Ricardo is a master of this craft, right? So like the engraving, even from like the door to the corners, perfect and never steps out of bounds. Like I don't know if it'll show, but it's literally fucking perfect. But because it's engraved on the corners are pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
And the back, I don't really care as much, but like the corners are kind of rough. So as it's moving in your hand, it's a little bit rough and a little bit uncomfortable.
Sure.
And there's something to be said about like a mod that's relatively smooth.
Right.
Being quite nice. This one is not particularly smooth. I think I'm going to buy some dye and probably drop it in dye and dye it black so it doesn't show lint all the time.
Then it'll just be like purple and dye rubbing off on your hands all the time.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's no different than an Evo.
It's just a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Evo isn't cheap.
I wouldn't say it's that much cheaper, but
That's true. I was surprised at how much those V3 bolts were.
I was too, and I think honestly it's the engraving because I bet each one of these took a lot of time because it's really detailed.
Yeah.
Like
it's a desk mod.
Yeah, it's incredibly detailed. But I've been using it every day and sticking it in my fucking pocket.
Right.
I will say that I do like the fully upgraded silver internals. But I did think it was broken when I first got it because I've never used this 510. So the way this 510 works is there's this little piece in here.
Is that the Mad Dog one?
I don't know.
If I remember right, it's the one that Will had loaned me one a while back when I was short on mods.
Yeah.
And I hated that 510.
So I don't dislike the 510, but I didn't know how to use it. So like I was screwing the thing down. I'm like, why doesn't it go down? My Addy's sticking up like a fucking inch.
Yeah.
So you have to actually adjust it, screw in here.
Yeah.
Screw it down, screw your Addy on, then screw it up. And I have no problem with it now. Like now I don't have to adjust it at all. It works great.
Yeah.
But like I honestly thought this fucking thing was broken because I'm an idiot.
Right.
I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah. My experience with them is that part that you adjust inside wouldn't stay. It would fall off.
I'm not having that problem at all.
I'm glad. I think they changed them a little bit because the one that I had from him was pressed. It was a pain in the dick. It was not cool.
Yeah, this thing is tight and quite nice the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
now when it was working, it worked great. But I did have it fail on me when I was driving. Like I was using it, and that middle part just bing, popped out. Fucking mod quit working. Pain in the ass.
I do wish that like the one that I got from William though, it had a lock on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the lock is, I'll probably still end up traveling with the V2 because it has a lock on it. So when I sit on a fucking plane, I don't have to take my battery out or take this out of my pocket just in case.
Yeah, it had like a little collary thing, right? That like pivots around inside.
It was really short.
Yeah.
And then really soft. So like while it works, I can't really, I guess I could like shove a fucking piece of paper in there or something, but still.
Yeah. Shane said that the one I was talking about was the older version. He said that the Mad Dog ones are upgraded now.
This one has worked really well so far. It's quite nice, and it hits real nice because it's all like this whole internal is all silver.
Yeah,
which is quite nice. The old one was starting to get a little. I need to strip the whole thing down and fucking clean it because it's all brass.
Yeah,
and it's all fucking corroded and shit. So every once in a while, it just wouldn't hit, and I'd be like,
"Fuck." Ooh. No, yeah. Finish what you're gonna say because I got
go ahead.
Talk about. First of all, Wiggles says that Mod Maker's newest 510 is the best, and I would tend to agree. Mod Maker's 510 works really, really well, but I don't think I've tried his newest one. But even the old ones or whatever, they're solidly connected. One of the few that I would put up there with the Limelight.
As long as it's not an Italian 510 that I have to screw in from the top with the Addy not on, I'm genuinely happy.
Right. Reverse threaded. Remember, it's reverse threaded.
Hey, let's make more things complicated.
The problem that I've always had with those reverse threaded 510s is that every fucking time, now that you have the filler bottles, every motherfucking time you unscrew your Addy, it fucking unscrews your goddamn 510 and you got to readjust. Like, I don't want to carry a screwdriver around with me when I'm out.
That's
right.
Fucking dumb.
We did, remember, for a long time.
For a long time.
Fucking dumb.
Right?
Yep.
Like that's how they fixed the problem. They're like, well, we know this is a problem, so we're going to sell you a $15 keychain screwdriver.
Yeah.
Just-
The dumbest thing I ever had to do was carry one of like those eyeglass screwdrivers for my K-Fun light. That was easy enough.
yeah.
But you
Oh,
have to carry a motherfucking screwdriver just for your 510. Like,
Yeah. I can't. You're right. I can't really sit here and complain about that.
that's what I was just like.
Screwdriver for
I
my
can't believe you guys did that.
Like there are a lot of bad decisions in vaping design.
Most of them out of Italy.
Yeah, that's true.
Fresh, are you a tank guy at all, or are you all drippers?
I'm pretty much all drippers. I do have the bulk by it's Umye and Vape Pagan. They just sent me that one to put through its paces. That thing's kind of a monstrosity, but
I was gonna say, wasn't that one pretty big? Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's sitting right here.
I would hope so when it's called the bulk.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. So I forget exactly how much this thing holds, but
I mean, it's
like
called bulk.
yeah, it's got the. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the BTFC RDA, but it's got the exact same build deck, and basically this thing's like a BTFC RDA just covered in glass. It's pretty amazing. You can run like 5mm coils on this thing, no problem.
So let me ask you this question, Fresh. Have you yet the glorious part of squonking?
Yeah, I've actually got several squonkers. I've got the Mike Vapes Recurve.
The recurve, yeah.
I've got the Basium. I've got the G Box. What else did
Have any of the lost?
the Topside? The Topside was probably my favorite mod that came out last year. That thing's amazing.
The reason why I ask is because as a longtime tank user, I learned something. You will always hold more liquid in a bottle under your dripper than you will in a tank.
Oh yeah. What's the Topside got? Or the Topside has like a 10 mil tank on it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like a 10 mil bottle.
You will always hold more liquid.
Well, true.
Huh?
True. This takes less time to fill than it does my Squonker. At least this tank in particular, because I pull off the top cap and go.
And that was a good tank.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the K-Phone was a good tank too. Like there were a lot of really good tanks, but you get so much out of the squonk bottle. Although I'm pretty sure the squonk bottle that came with this is smaller than I'm used to because I used to get through one full day of work without a refill, and now I don't.
Mm.
Rob, my Citadel is on my Rage Squonk. Got a Rage Squonk too. I've got the day one RDA on my Topside.
Ooh.
Ever since I put that thing on there, I was like, nah, you're not coming off. You're
Yeah.
not coming off.
It's nice when you get one that's just like that's where you need to live.
Yep, that was meant to be.
The Elmboy one, right?
Hmm?
The Rage is the Elmboy one, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a brick, but it actually has pretty good hand feel. And
Nice as you
I
can.
really don't care about weight when it comes to mods. Like I prefer things that are comfortable in the hand, which is why I've got like 3 Minikins, and I've got this little ABS plastic one that I use. They're all about the same shape. You get that nice comfortable
The
feel.
upside is too, if you're ever mugged, you can use it as a weapon. The Rage. If somebody ever tries to mug you, it's a weapon.
Oh yeah, no, you could totally dent someone's forehead with it, no problem.
My SX Mini, which is upstairs, that I always I wouldn't actually wish it, but it would be funny if I was in a situation where someone wanted my lunch money and I had my SX Mini in hand. And
You're like, no, fuck you. You can't have my lunch.
well, here's the thing, though. So you could take it and bash someone with the bottom of it, right? But it also fits really nicely in the hand, so it'll give you nice stability if you were to punch someone with it in your hand because it's got that curve in the back, so you can just.
Yeah.
So what you got to find is you got to find the blend between the two. You got to find the perfect general hand feel plus usability and tinyness, which honestly is probably this guy's hand. I like the bolt, and I've gotten much more comfortable with like the front squonk box mod kind of thing. And I think it might come from using box mods for so fucking long. Like I just find box mods to be comfortable because I use them forever.
Yeah.
But the fucking Limelight is gorgeous and small and comfortable. And so are any of the C-framey shit. Like C-frames are still like my favorite design in vaping.
Mm-hmm.
They're perfect.
That nice grip to it, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
On fire.
Hand is wrapped around the outside. Fucking perfect. if the dye didn't rub off all over your hands.
Well, that's the recurve. That was kind of the nice thing about the recurve. You can see the lovely drip tip I got there from one of the ladies who invented DIYing. She sent me that lovely drip tip, but yeah, it's got that nice kind of C-frame. You get that front.
Is that a butt plug?
Oh yeah,
It looks like a butt plug. Yeah.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Is
It's actually a really nice drip tip. Like you still get plenty of flavor. I was worried he was going to dilute.
Yeah, I can't imagine you ever have to worry about that thing getting hot. So
No, it's
I would imagine you'd get a lot of flavor out of that because of the size.
but I mean, size is relative, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember taking a foray into pipe mods and using those big ass fucking stick bent drip tips. What were they?
The BDS 60s and 90s.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Pipe mods, but like you lose all your flavor on those fucking pipe mod drip tips.
okay, flavor, swag.
Yeah. Oh boy, that was
Change my mind.
changed my mind. Oh man. So just as a thing, because if you've been around the show for any length of time, you know that I'm a massive fan of Limelight mods and also the RAM board inside of here. It's fantastic.
Still need one of those.
Mine started acting up last week.
Oh, maybe I do need one of those.
Yeah. So it started acting a little funky one day, and it was still working all right. But then one day, I changed my battery out, right? Swapped a new battery in there. 3 clicks, turn it on, and as I always do, just kind of flip it over just to see the light, right? So the light goes. It's like, okay, cool. And then I click and I drag, and nothing. I was like, that's weird. So I looked and I pushed the button, and nothing has happened. So I 3-click, and it turned back on. It gave the steady light when it turns on. I was like, oh, that's weird. So I click, drag, nothing. It's like, okay. So turn it back over, and then took the battery out, checked everything. It was all right. Put it back together, and this time when I turned it on, I stopped and waited. Instead of dragging on it, I just fired it while watching the light, and the light immediately 5 flashed and turned off after about a second. So click, 5 flash off. I was like, that's weird. So I started looking around, and I pinged their friendly Limelight mod guys. I was like, hey, Ace and Aaron. I said, you ever seen this? What's this error mean? And they're like, I've never seen that before. I was like, oh, neat. So I started poking around, and come to find out, I had just recently. So if you've used one of these guys before, I will show you what the battery cap. So the battery cap on the bottom, silver bladed. Nice battery cap. I often, one of the very few maintenance-y things I do is you get some pocket lint and grime and stuff, dust, e-liquid, whatever, will end up getting like a little film like in the threads. So I was always like, when you can feel it when you're unthreading it, because it normally threads so smoothly, you can kind of feel it kind of hanging up. So one of the things that I often will do is I'll clean that out. One of the things that I never do, in fact, if you're a member of the Limelight Mods group, somebody asked about this recently, and I straight up told them I never clean anything besides the threads here and the threads in here. And that's basically all I ever do with my Limelight mods. They always work great until this started happening, right? And so I looked, I was like, got a little flashlight. I looked down there, and the positive contact was not clean. The little silver contact at the very top or whatever, right? So I got an alcohol swab, and I got a... what did I get? I used one of the Rick's company, Mod Maker. I got one of the Mod Maker build rods. Took the alcohol swab and basically jammed it in there and wallered it around pretty good, right? Just basically wiped and cleaned all the contact on the other side. Pulled it back out. Did the same thing with the battery cap. Put it back in there. Flawless ever since. So. All it was is, I guess, there's just enough of a voltage wackiness to where it wasn't working. So if that happens to you guys, there you go. Now you know how to fix it.
Don't be a dirty bitch.
Don't be a dirty bitch.
Way better than the story of how I fixed my Limelight, because I still don't know.
You still don't know. You still haven't got one.
No, I just don't know how I fixed it. I know I fixed it, but I don't know how.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So don't be a dirty bitch. That's true. And also occasionally maybe clean the thing. So the problem, and I have to tell you, the reason I don't clean the positive contact has never been because I don't think I should clean it. It's because my fingers stop right there. Yeah. And I can't get it there very easily. these meat hooks don't go all the way in there, so I got to get something long and skinny to clean out. So be careful with your stuff. Clean your stuff.
It's so a lot easier to clean than copper.
Open vapor is hard.
Yeah.
Contacts and this, they're just a jewel magnetic contact. You just you give them a little lick if it's not connecting. You just get a little lick, put it up on your shirt, pop it back in there.
So I have a weird bit of non-vaping.
Hey, look, Shane said the same thing. He said he's never cleaned his positive either. You should clean it because it might go funky on you.
I have a weird bit of non-vaping news that I think is kind of interesting.
Hit me.
I'm trying something new, and I'm sure everybody here has a computer, so this might be semi-related. For the longest time, my whole fucking life, I've been using like felt mouse pads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a new mouse pad. I just got it in today, and it's this guy, and it's leather. It's kind of magical. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so the hard plastic ones are a little bit too like quick for me. Like there's not enough resistance. They don't feel right.
Yeah.
The felt ones, there's less like there's more resistance, but they're a little slow. Like this thing glides fucking perfectly. It's really nice for a mouse pad. Like I really like it. So like 10 out of 10 on leather mouse pads for me. Hey, everybody has a computer.
Everybody's got a computer.
I did not F5 for my mouse pad. I got it from Nomad, and they just sell stuff.
Yeah.
I just rollerball, man.
Nice.
Yeah. So I used a rollerball a long, long time ago, and I don't think I could again.
Is that the like? Oh, is it a Logitech?
Tech,
Yeah, the old Logitech.
Oh,
Yeah. Is that what that is?
I've had it forever. Had it forever. Still works fantastic.
You've legit had to be using that for 20 years.
It's a long time.
I had that mouse. Like I had the exact fucking mouse once upon a time, and I never got around to it. And like I have one of the Apple trackpads, and I don't really like trackpads. I do really like the Magic Mouse. Like I quite like the Magic Mouse. Mine's black though.
Yeah, yours is black. I was gonna spend the extra $10 on black.
Well, it came with the computer.
Oh, there you go.
You spent an extra $30 for it then.
No, I spent like but I also got the full-size black keyboard. I wish they made the half-size black keyboard though. It's better.
You and your weird half-size keyboards. So
It doesn't
wait a minute.
center right. Like
Tim said his positive contact still looks clean. That's why I never cleaned mine. I never needed to until it apparently needed it.
Yeah, I wonder if it was reading as a short or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was either low voltage or short or something.
Yeah, the material was just shortening it a little bit or something.
Yep.
If you get the Telegram attachment, Anksy will tell you, stop being a dirty bitch.
a full-size keyboard doesn't center right.
No, you gotta have a 10 key, man. I gotta have a 10 key.
So it doesn't center right though with a big mouse pad, like an oversized mouse pad, because I have two mice on my mouse pad most of the time.
Yeah.
It does not center right. Like I can't get to the dead center of my keyboard in comfortable mouse position. I end up being offset, and then I kind of end up leaning when I'm typing, and it's fucking weird, and I don't like it.
I tend to have my keyboard shifted off to the right a little bit for that reason.
Yeah, it doesn't center right, and I don't like it. I want them, but I want the black one because it matches the computer. I won't get the silver one that doesn't. if nothing else, as everybody here who knows me, I'm sure can attest to, I am vain first and practical second.
That's true for basically everything, actually.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually low voltage because back to the RAM board. I don't think it's low voltage because you can run a battery down to 3.2 or so, like really, really, really low, and it'll still fire. It'll just like be crazy, like pulsy. It's weird. So once a battery sags down too low, it'll give you what it can give you, but no more, right? And you can tell it just on the drag, and it doesn't turn off though. The only time it turns off is when it's a short, like Fresh was just saying. So if you ever screwed on an Addy that's got a short on a RAM board, you try to fire it, it'll blink 5 times and turn itself off. Well, it puts itself to sleep or whatever, right?
Admittedly, as much as I love Limelight, their stuff can be a little wonky sometimes, like to a point that I would almost swear they were Italian.
Well, to me, all right. So to me, this isn't wonky at all because it was my fault.
Sure, but how many times have you gone through in the process of getting up to the RAM board?
I went through.
Mine broke 3 times.
Yeah, I think I went through 3, but that was the MOSFET, man. It's not. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't blame that on them.
My
as a MOSFET.
experience having the MOSFET one is that they were a little wonky.
Yeah,
and
but it's a MOSFET.
The customer service was fucking great. I never had a problem with it. They're beautiful mods, and they always got fixed.
Yeah,
but they were a little wonky.
It was the same with any MOSFET board, though.
Yeah.
Good point from Tim and chat. At least they stand behind their products.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like we ever had a problem getting them fixed, but I think you, me, and William all together went through like 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7 or 9 or something. Yeah, it went several. Because mine, I had one of them that was basically a catastrophic.
I do. I'm still mad about my Narticap.
Yeah.
You can't be too mad. He made you a custom one.
Well, he made me a custom one where he Cerakoted a metal Narticap.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the Delrin Narticap that didn't get hot. So I love the fact that I still have a black Narticap, but it gets hot. My Delrin one didn't. But it did melt.
It's true. So that was the little adventure that I went on this week with my heretofore totally reliable RAM board. It went wacky. Come to find out, my fault. So that was good. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? I don't know that I do. I do still like this little thing. Have you seen this thing, Fresh?
What is that?
This is the Limelight 5050.
It's like a tiny billet box.
It's like
a little tiny billet box.
So if you take the door off,
350, and it's like a
it's
billet.
18350 with a Boro in it.
Oh,
Unregulated with a RAM board in it. Teeny tiny. This little thing is so small, but it works great. It was really, really cool.
I still got 18350 sitting around somewhere.
Yeah, and you do have to have a good one because it is unregulated. So if it's an old battery, it may not work.
I get a feeling that your Mass Mods Micro is jealous.
It may be because it hasn't worked in like a year and a half. I haven't used that thing in forever. Because I tried to charge it a couple of times and it didn't charge, and then I keep meaning to send it back to Mastina.
But now you have that, which holds.
Now I have this. Unfortunately, this doesn't run a regular tank because, as we all know, Sean loves rebuilding billet box atomizers.
Did that new Addy come out that I want to try for the billet box?
No, not yet. In fact, I haven't talked to Steven in a while. I need to do that.
You're going to tell me when that comes out so I can get one, right? Okay, because I actually, like, my billet box is sitting in my closet waiting for that fucking atomizer just so I can continue to hate the billet box problem.
I was going to say, just so you can continue to not build a billet box.
Yeah, right? Because I did not like the stuff that I have so far. I did not like the vape shell that much.
Yeah, I told you that before you bought the vape shell.
Yeah, but I needed some justification to have the damn billet box while I waited. And it looks like it was a good idea because it's been forever.
You should try what is it, the EUC coils, I think is what it is.
Yeah, I was going to try them, but there's a lot of different options, and I don't know what one I need.
Ask Todd.
Todd suggested them.
Yeah.
I might at some point, but then I got to strip the whole thing down, and I got to rebuild it, and it's messy, and it's a pain in the ass. It's a billet box.
Plus, e-liquid might get on your hands and poison you.
I don't really want that. I could melt. You don't know.
I'm sure Fresh sees that all the time, right? You get poisoned all the time, don't you?
Yeah, I get 100 milligram on myself every once in a while. I'm like,
7 years of vaping, I've never had e-liquid on my hands.
I'm not sure I buy that.
I'm trying to stay as straight-faced as possible while I say that.
All right.
You didn't deliver it.
Every time I fill my goddamn squonk bottle, or every time I fill this fucking refiller bottle, I probably end up with some e-liquid on my hands.
You know what? I haven't used one of these little things. You just held yours up. I haven't used one of these things in, probably 9 months.
What are you using now?
It's still full or whatever. I use the mod maker things that screw straight on my bottles.
Oh, I never saw those things.
What?
Yeah, Wotofo actually makes those too.
I don't fucking vape anymore.
Yeah, but I thought you'd at least see me when I'm talking about it.
No, you've never talked about them when I was here, and I don't watch this when I'm not.
You have to know when Sean is going to be on the show, Angsty. So
yeah, I can't watch
Sean's pipeline.
So, Sean, you take the nozzle cap off and the little safety ring, and then this thing literally screws on, and now you have a skunk refiller.
Well, here's the other problem. I buy my shit in 500 ml bottles that are glass.
Ah, that's true.
Oh,
So
The Watopo one actually fits on top of the. If you go to Harbor Freight, they have little little PMTA bottles, and the Watopo one actually fits on that. So you could fill a 8-ounce bottle of that, an 8-ounce bottle, so like 350 mils. Screw that thing on top and just use that as a smaller filler.
the downside that I have found with this guy, and here's a weird thing that's always kind of pissed me off about vaping every time I travel. Why 120 mils? Why can't it be 100 mils? Like, I don't like checking baggage, so I don't like taking a 120 ml bottle because it won't get through fucking TSA.
I've never had an issue bringing 120 mils. That's what.
Dude, every time I go through goddamn, I refuse to believe that you don't get your bag searched because I get mine searched and I'm white.
Dude, 120 mils is under
120 mils, 4 ounces.
It's 100 mil for TSA carry-on in your liquid bag.
That's very poorly enforced because my beard oil is more than that. My shampoo is more than that.
Every time I go through a checkpoint, I get stopped. I expect it at this point. Well,
See, I don't know what to tell you because I've never had an issue with it.
but it's because I think I don't get stopped for the liquid. I get stopped because of the build kit.
Oh, yeah. That's an important piece of information. They've looked for my screwdrivers before.
I always get through, but they do check my shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm not willing to take that risk.
Yeah, 120 mil, by the way, is 4.06 fluid ounces.
Yeah, 4 ounces.
But it's 100 mil. I'm pretty sure TSA carry-on is 100 mil.
Well, you do the little quick conversion and tell them that it's 4 ounces because that's what I would do. Be like,
These are limited travel size containers that are 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters or less per item.
I thought it was 4 ounces.
3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters.
Hey, who's been skirting by without a problem?
See, if you read the thing, it also tells you can only have one Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
not true at all. Because I just put everything in like giant Ziploc bags like that. Just
I put it in a Ziploc.
Yeah, I just put everything in a Ziploc bag, and I've like international travel, going to different countries. Nothing. I've never had anybody give me any problems at all going through TSA as long as everything is just in the bag and you pull it out and you throw it.
It gets picked so they don't want to appear racist.
I've been through with my Squonk bottle full and not in my liquid bag.
So I always have my Squonk bottle full and never in my liquid bag.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, though, fuck this. Before I fly next, I need to do TSA pre.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going back out to LA in June, which means, and I might get to see Nareg this time. I have to hit him up and tell him.
I quit flying before they did the whole TSA Plus thing.
Yeah.
I quit flying before doing that, so I haven't actually applied for that process. And it has to be when I do fly now, 50% of the time that line is longer than the other line.
Yeah, but it's faster, and I don't have to take off my shoes.
It is faster. There's no argument about it. But if the line is X% longer, then it's a wash.
So here's why I disagree, and I don't really care about the shoes. Because when I travel, like if I go to LA for work, I take my work laptop, I take a personal laptop, I take an iPad, I take my Switch.
Yeah.
All those things have to come out of my bags.
Yeah.
All of them. So to try to balance all of my pockets plus my shoes, I end up using like 4 to 6 bins because I have fucking 2 computers, a Switch, and an iPad that all have to come out because they changed it. It used to be only your laptops. You could keep your iPads in the bag, but now you have to take your iPads and your Switches and everything out too.
Yeah, it's anything bigger than a cell phone.
Yeah. So literally all this shit has to come out of my bags and I end up with all these fucking bins full. It takes me 5 minutes to put shit back in my bag. It's just a pain in the ass. And I don't want to deal with it, even if the line is longer.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like, it's too much of a headache.
And out here, SeaTac actually just they went like 3/4 commercial. So you like have to if you want to get through in any sort of like timely manner, like you have to be a member. You have to be a member of one of those things, and that's how they got me on one of them. Like I was sitting there, I had like an hour and a half to a flight, and they were estimating like 3 hours in line.
Right.
I was like, well, I can't do that. And I was through. I signed up, and it took like 5 minutes, and I was through in like 10. So
yeah, I mean, pre's what, $85, 5 years?
I think it's like 74 a year, something like that. It wasn't bad.
But it's like 74, but then you get it for 5 years, I think.
Yeah, 5 year, $85. I'm on the website right now.
Yeah, but
So
it's kind of worth it because every time I fly, I can just.
Yep.
You fly a few times a year for shows and stuff, so
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I go to LA like every 6 weeks, and I'm probably going to be starting to go to Dublin every 3 months. So like,
Yeah.
it's worth it for me to do that. I could probably expense it too. I should expense it.
Yeah, you absolutely should.
I mean, it's $85. It's not like it's bad.
Expense it. If you can do it.
I'm allowed to expense fucking flight upgrades to like bigger.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Just
Yeah, you can definitely expense that.
under $104. Anything over $104, I have to pay for. So I can get first class every time if I want, and they'll do $104 of it.
Oh, that's nice.
But first class from here to LA is like $700 or $800.
Yeah. Depends on.
I don't fly first, which is why I fly first class from San Francisco to LA.
that's why, because I don't think you truly get to enjoy a luxurious flight experience if you're only in the air for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't care. I just care about the bigger seat. I just want to stretch out.
Sit in that seat for like 7-8 hours, and you'd be like,
I'd enjoy it more if I was sitting in that seat for.
because when you land, you're like, man, I can't imagine making that flight again as a shitty peasant.
Yeah, well, that's the other reason why I don't want to do it, because that's how I'd feel.
The only time I've ever flown first class, and the Army chartered a plane when we were going over to Iraq, and so, like everyone was loading onto the plane, and so they were just filling this thing to the gills, and I was sitting there looking at it. I was looking at this, and I look over, and there's a staircase going up, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going up, running upstairs, and sure enough, here's first class. I'm like, all right, just plop myself down in the seat, and just every time someone came by, I wasn't looking at them because they were looking to pull people out of there. I'm like,
Where I'm meant to be.
Nope. So yeah, I think that wound up being like 27 hours is how long we were on that dang plane.
There's a concept in social
Totally
engineering.
worth it though. Just
Dude, there's a concept in the art of social engineering that if you act like you're supposed to be there, very few people will question it.
Yes.
Yeah. I just sat there leaning in my chair looking out the window. I wasn't looking at anybody coming down that aisle.
That's for sure.
Yep, that's what I did. I ended up on a restricted access floor at work that I wasn't supposed to be on. I was trying to find someone to give them their equipment, and I sat in the kitchen and drank coffee for 20 minutes. Someone's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I got
it."
So when I was in college, I shouldn't tell this story, but I will. I successfully, for about 6 months, acted as a fake student to a different university to use their gym, their rec room, and date girls who went there. I had a fake name, I had a fake major, all that. And I got away with it for over 6 months. And I never got caught, but they believed that something like was up because one day they made everybody leave the gym and then individually badge back in. And I'm like, oh,
Hi,
fucked.
I'm Shawan Thomas."
Like, I got away with it for like 6 months, and like I dated people under a fake name. It was a fun lesson in social engineering. I did a lot of stupid shit in my youth.
Big time. I don't know if you've watched the Plumes of Hazard on YouTube, but
Because vaping was a thing when I was in college.
I know that's the fucking joke.
It was fun. Like I did a lot of dumb shit in my youth, stories that I will never ever tell publicly on YouTube. Before we go to the wrap up section here, I think we all want to give Fresh a moment to shamelessly self promote.
Yes.
Yeah.
sure. So if you want to learn how to make e-liquid in your bathtub, I'm your guy. Well, that me and Wayne Walker, DIY or Die. You can use either channel. I love that dude.
We had Wayne on before too. You can also go way back in our history and find the old shows with both Wayne and Fresh.
The guy who looks like Waldo, kind of. At least that's what his glasses tell me these days.
He's got some. The glasses kind of make me question his fashion sense until you see like the total get up. If you see him in person, you're like, okay, now it works.
Fashion sense.
Waldo now he's Harry Potter during winter.
Exactly.
Come on, when you see the total get up, it makes you question his fashion sense even more.
No. When you see his total get up, you're like, okay, the glasses kind of make sense with what you're going for here. I got you.
But I still don't understand it.
Yeah. He's young. He
can be wacky.
Yeah, he's like 26 years old. He's got like 50,000 subs on YouTube. He's rocking it.
Yeah, why not?
Good for Wayne.
He's halfway to that fucking bronze YouTube thing.
That's right. So yeah, if you guys are interested in learning how to make your own e-liquid, I run e-liquid shows. How to make your own e-liquid Tuesdays on my channel and Saturdays on my channel, and then I have just kind of a shenanigans show where we talk about what's going on in vaping and then kind of what's going on in our lives. That's Friday night. It's 6 p.m. for the Tuesday and the Friday show, and it's 10 a.m. for the Saturday show, and it's youtube.com/fresh03. So pretty easy to find. If you search Fresh03, you'll see my smiling face.
That was some of the better self-promoting we've had.
So, thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Yeah, this was different.
Like us, he knows how to promote like we know how to promote.
This was a different segment, so thank you for coming on and acting like a host.
Oh,
I guess.
Not like I've been doing shows forever. So I think it's you guys and me. I think we're the seniors on the YouTubes these days.
Go get my walker.
Suck it, Fagin. You're not a senior.
Right.
Go grab my walker.
Dude, I think we talked about vaping more on this show than we've done in months.
Oh, that's possible. I don't know. I haven't been here in months. If you guys start talking about vaping, I'll come back more often.
Fresh, it was great to have you on there, man. I appreciate it. It's been too long.
It has been. Thank you so much for having me.
Peace, everybody.
Later, people.
Later.
Be out.